Hi there, and thanks for joining our webinar today about how to eliminate your IT headaches while syncing your cloud in 3 simple steps. So I'm Naomi Asaroff. I'm your host for this webinar. I'm a Cloud Sync specialist with CloudHQ, and with me as my co-host here is Bart Giordano from Ignite. Bart, welcome.
Thanks very much for having me, Naomi.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for being here. So before I jump into explaining exactly how to go ahead and set up a cloud integration in 3 steps, I'd like to just cover why you might want to do that. So right now we're seeing a big issue happening within companies where we have the company infrastructure, which is working well, but then as employees are bringing in clouds of their own, we have kind of this situation where cloud data is kind of sporadically spread out throughout the cloud and not synced back to the company infrastructure. So we have an issue where cloud data could be lost or even possibly accidentally deleted, and that's just a very scary issue because that data could be critical. And certainly there's also another issue, which is cloud collaboration. So, when you have somebody who's going to be coming into the office and who's going to be working on Evernote, for example, Evernote won't allow you to share files unless there's another Evernote user to share it with. But what if multiple people within the office are not using Evernote? You actually wind up having this big miscommunication within businesses because the cloud is not actually helping your project at this point. And so you have these pockets of people who are in the know with what's happening and other people who are not able to really be part of the discussion. And so you actually lose out on a lot of those very smart minds that companies have employed. So we think that that's just terrible. We think that the cloud should be a much richer experience for companies. And so we're going to show you how to sync your cloud in 3 separate steps. We're going to be looking at Evernote because that's just wonderful for any mobile user. So we'll be syncing our Evernote. We'll be doing something with Basecamp because Basecamp is great for project management. And then we're going to sync it back to Ignite as a central file repository. So that's the issue. Let's see how we actually set this up. So first things first, I'm going to go into Basecamp here, and I'm going to create a new project. It could be any project. Let's actually do demo Ignite Cloud HQ, Ignite Cloud HQ, and I'll just separate it out here with little underscores. Start the project. All right. So, and I'll have that project now there. I'll just refresh it to make absolutely sure that is there and that's part of my project. There we go. And then I'm going to hop over now to Cloud HQ. So I'm going to hop into the free trial. And by the way, guys, thank you so much for coming to this webinar. Bart and I have both agreed to give you, instead of a 15-day trial for either of our services, you'll get a 30-day trial. Just go ahead, hop in there. For my flow, you don't need to enter in any credit card. There's no risk. Just hop in there, try it out. If you like it, you keep it. And if you don't, well, then you don't. But I would love to know why. So here we go. I'm going ahead and I'm going to an Evernote here. And it's going to prompt me to sign up with my Google account. And if I don't have one, then I can click here. And I can choose whatever account it is that I want to sign up with. So I will use the test account that I created. Oh, that's not true. Here we go. I'll click it again. There we go. And I'll set up a backup or theme. Perfect. So I'm going to create a sync of individual accounts, but if you're a business, you can also set it up through a sync for multiple accounts to a central cloud. So let me create the sync of individual accounts. And I'll go ahead and stick in an Evernote here because I'm mobile and I'm a mobile power user of Evernote. So I'm going to authorize my Evernote access to Cloud HQ. And once I hop in there, I'm going to share a notebook. Now, I know a lot of you have personal notebooks, right? and that's fine. I do too. So I'm going to actually create a notebook. I'm going to create a notebook that will match the same title here, Demo Ignite Cloud HQ. Okay? So I'll hop back in here and I'll go Demo Ignite Cloud HQ. And then I will create it. And as I create it here through Cloud HQ, it's actually going to reflect in my Evernote account. And I'll show you that in a sec. And that way I know exactly what it is that I'm thinking. And you could do, for your purposes, if you're going to be doing Evernote and Basecamp or SharePoint and Ignite, you can actually just put in syncs between Evernote and Basecamp. And you can make it as descriptive as you want. I'm just doing this for the demo. So I'm going to select that particular notebook that I've just created, and that'll be what I'm going to sync. And I'm going to sync that off to my lovely Basecamp, because Basecamp is fabulous for project management. I'm sure many of you know if you're already using it. And I will add Basecamp here. And so I will say, yes, I will allow Basecamp. I need to make sure that my projects are going to be organized. And that project that I just created there is now showing up here, my only project. So that's the project I have. And if I have multiple projects, I can just click on the menu here and it will be able to let me scroll through them. I'll go to the next step now. And I am going to, these are just extra options. I'm going to go with the options that are just automatically populated for me, but you can feel free to look through that and set it up as you see fit. So I'm going to create either Basecamp discussions or text documents. So I'm going to create discussions in Basecamp. I like that feature. All right, so enter password. And I will save password and start sync. And it's just going to go ahead and create my first sync pair. So now, whatever I put into this folder in my Evernote will be synced directly into this project in Basecamp and vice versa. So before I show you that, I'm going to add one more sync pair. Why? Because I need to make sure everything is backed up. So let me go ahead and create the sync of individual accounts. Here we go. And I'll just take Evernote and I'll sync that back to Ignite. And if you want to sync Basecamp back to Ignite, that's fine too. You can do actually all of your apps sync back to Ignite if that's how you want to set up your infrastructure. Let me just go ahead and go through my stacks and notebooks. And here's the one that we went ahead and created just a few minutes ago. So I will click on that and I'll select it out. And here I will be adding in Ignite. Nice and simple, and it's going to specify my Ignite account. What is that? I will show you. When you have an Ignite account, you will go ahead and have an area here before the .ignite.com. So if I hop into my Ignite account, I see what it is. It's right here. It's Cloud HQ. So I'll hop back into Cloud HQ and just close that up. Thank you for telling me. And I will enter that in and add my Ignite. And it will ask me to allow access. So I will allow access. And same thing with Evernote and Basecamp. I want to make sure I'm using the same file name. That way I'll know that that's the file that's going to be synced between Basecamp and my Evernote. And so, Bart, since I have you on the line, thank you so much again for coming today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Ignite and what makes it so unique?
Sure. Thanks, Naomi, and thanks again, everyone, for joining and spending time with us to learn more about how Ignite and Cloud HQ have partnered to really try to break down the data silos that result from wide adoption of cloud apps and the bring your own service trends that we see across many businesses today. If you're new to Ignite, I think the best way for you to visualize our product really is an IT managed service that enables businesses to host their file servers in the cloud. Our service offers an application that enables companies to use the cloud as their central file repository. This facilitates file access and collaboration across businesses of all sizes. Many of you may have used file sharing applications previously, and you might be wondering what makes Ignite so special. When I think about it, a major advantage of using Ignite is that we give IT choice and flexibility as to where you store data. In your business, you might have some data for which you can migrate to the cloud with very little friction, but you may also have other use cases around large file sharing, collaboration on sensitive files, and these might demand that you keep some or all of the data behind your firewall. So with our hybrid architecture,
I know that. Sorry, Bart. I know that Ignite is really, you guys are really, you've got that pocket, you've got that niche. I don't think that there are any other companies that have both off-prem and on-prem file management. Is that so?
Yeah, certainly not with a single user interface that allows you to manage data and control access to content independent of where it lives. With our hybrid architecture, files can live in the cloud, behind the firewall, or be synced between the cloud and local servers based on your use case and compliance needs. And through a single pane of glass, users have universal access to their content.
Yeah.
So you're not forced to create another silo of data when adopting the cloud that's separate from data that remains behind the firewall.
Yeah. I think I found this too on your website on how it works. That really describes that well. So yeah.
Right, and across all those different deployment models that you see there, cloud, hybrid, and on-prem storage, we build a global namespace that's providing universal access to those files, whether they live in the cloud or in on-prem servers. And that's why we're really excited about the partnership and integration we're describing with Cloud HQ today, because we're able to extend the paradigm of universal data access beyond just that hybrid file server. So companies using this integration can break down the data silos that result from the adoption of many different cloud applications, some of which you see here today.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's exactly what I think most companies should adopt, and I'm surprised that not as many have that. They kind of have this full communication breakdown. So actually, I'm just going to go back to the demo here and just show this before I go ahead and actually create a node in Evernote and show the sync happening. I just wanted to actually also show this. So anybody who uses Evernote is most likely really passionate about it. And I just want to show you how you can go ahead and really customize how you export your notes. And like as I mentioned before, if you're an Evernote user and you can't share your notes with anybody else from the exterior of Evernote itself, so if you want to share your notes with somebody else who's not an Evernote user, this is a great way to export your notes. So you can export them in PDF format, in HTML. The Enix format, this is actually the format that's native to Evernote, so you can do that as well. But there's all these different options. Go through them, take a look at it, customize it to what works best for you. We're here to make that all happen for you. So I'm going to go ahead and synchronize this continuously and just use the automatically populated options for me. Here we go. Just like blast off right there. And we will have our second sync pair that works perfectly here. So we're going to have Evernote to Basecamp, Basecamp back to Evernote, and we're going to connect one of those guys over to Ignite. And then that way we can have an infrastructure that it's an integrated way to use the cloud. So here's step 1, connect your Evernote. Step 2, connect your Basecamp or wherever else you want to connect. And step 3, you connect your Ignite. So let us go ahead and put this to the test. All right, I'm going to hop into Evernote, and I'm going to just go ahead and refresh to find that notebook that I created. There we go. And we're going to create a new note. So we're going to do meeting minutes because really, it's so wonderful. Okay, so here we'll just do meeting minutes. Here we go. And so in the minutes, what are we doing today? We're looking at why would you integrate your cloud? Pretty simple. we're going to do this for collaboration because I want to work with my project managers, and I'm sure they want to work with me. And we're going to integrate the data. So it's not just that you're going to have data that's going to be behind the firewall and then data that's in the cloud and they're completely separate. No. We are going to integrate it. Everything from the cloud comes in. And then finally, it's a secure way for making sure you have a central file repository. You want to be able to get something quickly and search for it quickly. This is the way. So here we go. Collaboration, data integration, and secure file repository. That would be why you would want to integrate your cloud. All right. So we've created this note. I will go ahead and I will just refresh that. And I will hop into Basecamp and go into here. Oh, and there you go. These are the meeting minutes that I have just created at 1:38. So I just did this now. Here. Let's hit the time here. 1:38. There we go. Just came in. And if I click on it, I will see the exact note that I just created in Evernote. And so that tests this sync pair, the Evernote Basecamp. Now let's hop out. Let me go actually here. Just press that again now. We'll force that sync. And we'll hop out here into my Ignite folder. Aha! And here is the folder that we just created on Cloud HQ. Here we go. Might take a little minute for it to sync. And it'll populate up there in just a bit. And so, actually, while I give that just a couple of minutes to populate, I also want to say thank you to everybody for coming to take a look at how we set up our syncs, because these are really important to be able to communicate with one another. And for an integrated cloud, really, that what I did is I put this right here in my Ignite folder. I'm going to open this up. This is for you guys. Thank you for, hang on now. There we go. This is for you guys. I want to thank you so much for taking a look at how to set up your cloud. So I'm giving you a 30-day free trial. It's the phq.io. Oh, let me just share that window. Here we go. Does that show now for everybody? Let me see. Not yet, huh? All right. Well, that will show in just a little bit for sure. My window is now being shared. Sorry about that, technical difficulties. Well, here we go. So I just want to, while that's all syncing up together, I just want to make sure you absolutely see that you get a free 30-day trial, and I will go ahead and make sure that you all get a recording of this once we're done, and I will include your 30-day free trial. You've got a 30-day free trial for Cloud HQ. You have a 30-day free trial for Ignite. So make sure you hop in there and play around and see if it's something that you want to do and work with. And if it is, then go ahead and extend your trial after that. I'd be happy to have you as a client. Feel free to contact me or Bart at any time. We'll be able to help you out too. But that's your 30-day free trial links. And let me hop back out to Ignite now. Here we go. And I'm just going to share this window for just one sec. Here we go. And let's see if that synced up. My window is now being shared. Oh, there we go. Meeting minutes. There we go. And I have it in all those different formats that I had the option of saving it in. And so I'll just open it up in a PDF because that's nice and easy. There we go.
And the benefit, Naomi, of now having this in Ignite, which is deployed as the company's central corporate file repository, is the content's not just available to the users of Evernote or Basecamp, but it can now be shared very broadly with both internal and external collaborators. So we've really broken down the data silos that can form when using disparate cloud apps, and with Ignite as the file serving backend, the information can be shared collaboratively and broadly throughout the organization and with folks externally that you may be working with.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the whole idea really here is to make sure that you can work in whatever app it is that you want to work in, and whoever you're working with can also work in whatever app they want to work in, and you can still work on the same project together really collaboratively in a way that's still really secure at the same time. So there you have it. That is our demo. Let me just hop over to the questions here and take a look and see if there's anything that we can answer for you. And if you can think of anything right now, now is a great time to go ahead and to come up with those. All right, so let me go through here and take a look. So first question is, do you need to have a different account with Ignite than you do with CloudHQ, or is this a package? So Ignite is one of our awesome partners. We love working with you, Bart.
Thank you.
And so it is just, you're very welcome. I love what you do. I know that our clients also very much love what you do. It's probably why a lot of them are using you. But to answer this viewer's question, we are separate services. We just work with one another because we really like working with one another and we benefit one another. And so just as, if you come over to CloudHQ, you'd probably still need to purchase a pro account in Evernote. I'm not reselling Evernote subscriptions or Basecamp subscriptions. I'm really just selling the sync, and so that's what we offer. It's a really inexpensive way to make sure that all of your data is synced back and forth in such a way that you can still make changes. I mean, if I went back to my Evernote notes now, here, it's actually really cool here. It's if I go into this meeting minute, and I changed anything, and I say, meeting minutes updated, say, and I wanted to add in a fourth note, whatever it is. Here, we'll just do anything. I can update it, and that sync, I'll reload it, and that sync will actually load right back out to both Basecamp and out to Ignite. And so that's actually the whole benefit of a sync. It's not like you push your data one time and it just gets replicated. That's not what a real sync is. That's just replication. What we do is we actually do that sync for you. So we have a different service, and this particular service is for your sync. You can work collaboratively and just keep changing your files back and forth, and that's fine. And you can keep older versions of that file, so anytime anything changes, one of your options, you can keep an archive folder to make sure that you can have access to a file prior to any changes or deletions or anything like that. And so here we are. That's our service, completely synchronized. So you can continuously work on something in a really collaborative way. Let's see, what are the other questions here? Bart, this one is for you. So
sure.
Why would you set up your cloud infrastructure in a way that it should be in the cloud, specifically just in the cloud? Is that something you want to expand
absolutely.
on?
So we talked about the model of a file server in the cloud really as being core to Ignite's product offering.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you want to do that? Well, first and foremost, you get to consume it as a subscription service, and with SaaS applications, you can consume it in a way that scales with the needs of your organization. So as you grow over time, or your use cases change, you don't have to buy new hardware or scale your internal infrastructure. You can simply add more users from a software application served from the cloud. And once you've built out your file server in the cloud, you've now enabled an entire suite of file services throughout your organization that can increase productivity and collaboration, but also reduce costs as compared to some of your legacy file servers and storage that you may traditionally have in your own data center. Ignite services include things like file sync and share for external and internal collaborators and cross-site synchronization. So you get a lot of flexibility in how you deploy Ignite to satisfy the needs of your business and enable things like mobility and file access from any device and any location, all the benefits you might expect from the cloud.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay, let me just take a look here. This is a great question. So one of our viewers is asking, what if you don't want to set up, a sync pair, but for your users? So yes, you can do that too. You will just make sure that you're on a business plan, because you wouldn't need to do this if it was just for personal, although you could on a business plan. And then your users, you can then just invite them over. We'll just hop into users here, and you could just send them an invite. And then as they do any kind of invite, then they'll be invited to just click on it by saying yes, they allow their Evernote to be synced back to the central file repository at your company, and then that's it. You have access into their Evernote account. And if you want to specify exactly what it is, like a specific notebook, you can do that too. And that's exactly what we actually set up with our synchronization pair, right? We want to make sure it's demo_ignite_cloud HQ, because you don't really want to have anything that's personal or any of that. And often people who are using the cloud are mixing personal and business. And so that's a great way to separate it as well. Okay. Oh, last question, and it's from the same viewer. Can you do any exclusions of data? You can. So you don't do it through the users, but what you can do is you can just contact us. That's a special service. We really don't want to risk having to exclude any people from specific data. At that point, we prefer to do that service for you. And that's part of your package, not a problem. Just let us know exactly what it is that you want to have excluded from your users, and we can help you do that as well. Alrighty then. Any other questions? All right, it looks like we have answered all the questions so far. Hey Bart, thank you so much for coming down and helping explain a little bit about how Ignite works. And I want to also extend a huge thank you to our audience. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for showing up today. And
thank you, Naomi. It's been great.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, definitely it has been. And I'll send you over. I'll send all of our audience as viewers over that the 30-day free trial for both of our services, and that way you guys can play around with it and see if that works for you guys. All right.
All right.
Bart,
thanks everybody.
Again.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye now.